Thank you for joining us on the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the program, Lagos State Police Commissioner provide updates on the death of Dowen College student Sylvester Oromoni. Says 8 suspects now in custody. Outrage as truck kills students in Lagos, driver in police custody, and later on the show, bandits set bus ablaze in Sokoto, kill 42 passengers on board. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Dr. Olayinka Oyebile. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Justice well and quickly set regarding the deaths of Sylvester Oromoni at the Dowen College, Lagos, is at this time desired to assuage pain of the parents and serve as detriment. In this regard, the police have arrested 5 students and 3 staff of the school over the unfortunate death. The Lagos State Police Command, the Commissioner, that's Akim Odumosu, who gave an update on the case, said coroner inquest into the death of Sylvester has also been arranged. Let's hear from the Police Commissioner, Akim Odumosu.
The students whose names were mentioned in that are in the police custody. And equally too, I've got to tell you my colleague in Delta State. So yesterday I spoke with the mother of the deceased. So the dad was not around. So we got them invited. The school have told us their own faction of the case, of the story. So the parents too, we get the own faction of the story from the parents. And more importantly, the postmortem. We discussed it extensively yesterday. And because we have about 4 groups now, that is the families of the children that are alleged, 1, the school's authority, 2, now the family of the deceased, 3, and the government. So the 4 teams now will have to team together now to do and witness the postmortem so that it's going to be objective.
That Akim Odumosu, where he spoke about, give an update on this particular case that's doing College, Lagos. Jide, we are making progress.
Yes.
5 students, 3 staff. Because we've been asking questions. Yesterday, the questions we've been asking, now we can at least get answered that people will be there when this thing happened.
Yes.
When it was being molested, people will be there, and it's the responsibility of one housemaster to always watch over these children when they are in their dormitory. So people will be questioned. Jide?
Yes. What we want to see is what is being done now. I was reading I was reading claims on social media that some of the boys had escaped, taking them out of the country. You know, when this sort of thing happens, you see falsehood walking on 2 legs. You know, there are some of our people who are so good at peddling lies. I just don't know what they stand to gain. These boys have escaped and they've taken them out. One even boasted that his father is a friend to the chief judge, that nothing will happen to him. Is it the chief judge that arrests people? Is it the chief judge that prosecutes people? How can the chief judge stand in the way of arrest or prosecution of anyone in a case like this? I mean, so it's a good thing that those guys have been held into custody, and the police commissioner also talked about what the lawyer to the Oromoni family had requested for. That's that there should be a coroner's inquest. Now the commissioner of police is saying that the autopsy will be witnessed by all the stakeholders, you know, the government, the school itself, the parents, and
so
even the police.
He was playing football.
The autopsy will show what really killed him. So people need to be present, all stakeholders need to be present so that it's not manipulated. It will be done in their presence and the whole world will know the truth. It's just like the case of the Obafemi master students that that died in an hotel in Ile-Ife. We also hope that that matter will not be swept under the carpet, you know. So that is what we expect to see. Nigerians are eager to see how this matter is resolved, you know, and Nigerians are eager to see that bullying in our schools is addressed because it's a big problem.
You can trust Nigerians. They don't joke with things like this. As of today, I've seen visuals and videos of, you know, different civil rights groups, women group. They've gone to this school, in spite of the fact that the school is under lock and key. They've gone to this school to go and protest today, wearing black and black.
Now, it's a very good thing that this is happening. Unfortunately, the death has occurred, but the fact that people are putting it in the front burner makes one to believe that this will not go like any other case before it. The civil rights groups that have stood up to call for this is a very good thing that they are doing so. Just this morning, I saw something on social media where parents of students in the school held a meeting through Zoom, and one former teacher, a counselor in the school, who attested to the fact that this thing was going on in the school and that his own son was also a victim. Unfortunately, he resigned from the school and took out his son. And one of the parents on the forum was very bitter. In fact, he accused the said person of being an accomplice. That you knew this thing was going on. It happened to your son. You withdrew your son. You yourself, you resigned from the school. You never confided in any parent. I mean, so this is the kind of thing that, why is it that we must wait for tragedy to happen for people to come out? I believe that if this guy, this former counselor in the school, had confided in one of the parents, I know the usual thing is to be afraid that if I say now Dowen School is in Lekki, the children of rich people are there, something might happen to me and all that is there. But why do you now say that when the bad thing has happened? So it behoves on each and every one of us. They say if you say something. It's very, very unfortunate. I put myself in the shoe of the parents. I mean, what happened? How do you explain that? You send your child to school to better his lot, his or her lot.
Pay millions.
Pay millions. Why? In fact, will it now have been better for this child to have even be going to one of these public schools? So what is the essence of the millions you are spending? The million is that you want to make sure everything is done for him, is protected, nobody bullies him and all that. But at the end of the day, the question you ask is, if gold rusts, what will iron do? If bullying goes on in such an elite school, and it has to get to this point to take the life of this young boy, it's very, very sad. And every time I look at this, I feel very sad that what is exactly going on in this country? Are we becoming animals? What is the problem?
Because when some of the students, after they've locked the school, some of the students, when they got home, people that witnessed their dormitory mates that witnessed the encounter, they've been writing. I don't know. I cannot independently substantiate those, but they've been writing and have been saying, eyewitness accounts. At least I've read like 2 accounts. With the arrest of these new students and 3D staff now, I think we'll get somewhere.
We hope so. But again, you cannot bet on that. In our country, you can't bet on that. We are talking about Wadume the other day. He didn't do it alone. Are they on trial now? If
3 Gala police officers
are
killed
while serving their country. And Wadume was not only a kidnapper but a murderer. He kidnapped and murdered an oil magnate after collecting more than 100 million from him. He got hold of his BVN, emptied his account, and proceeded to take the life of the man. Ideally, by now, Wadume's matter should have been concluded. He should have been jailed. But this is Nigeria. He may never even go to jail. He may never go to jail.
Somewhere cooling his feet. The army captain, somewhere too.
Yes.
I mean,
he didn't do it alone. The police extracted statement from him. He mentioned those who helped him. Everything. His handcuffs, he was in Manakus and Anchor, and they were taking him away. The person who arranged for them to remove the handcuff and got him freed, he mentioned. Are they on trial now? The answer is no. And we close our eyes to these things as a country, and we want progress. We deceive ourselves. A country where justice for the poor is a reality is a country that can't make progress. Justice should not be for the highest bidder.
Actually, I don't even think it was a case of somebody going to enter a Nolly. It was just
nobody is talking about Nolly prosecution.
No.
There are other ways. There are other ways that you can kill
a matter
to just die.
Yes, there are other ways. Give me the file. They gave him the file. He has not filed any fresh.
Months after.
What is months?
It's going to a year.
It's over a year now. It's over a year now.
So Nigerians will forget.
You know that our attention span. After a while, we will stop. Even this one, look, that if a matter too. If Nigerians don't continue to talk
about it,
that is how it will die, a natural death. So this one that they have arrested those students and their teachers, it does not still make me convinced that something extraordinary is being done. For God's sake, this is our country. People can't tell us stories about our country that we do not already know. We know that in our country, we kill matters like this. That after a while, people will stop talking about it. People will stop talking about it. We will now face other matters. When we face other matters, then ultimately this matter will just die a natural death. So this is the thing. Are we sure that this matter will not die a natural death?
Yes.
Are we sure? What is the guarantee that we have? These civil society organizations, it is their duty to ensure that this matter does not die a natural death. Because it is possible.
Because everybody seems to be culpable when it comes to this. If it's the judiciary now, you just see a judge will just come and you just say, we are adjourning this case, sinner die. That sinner die, that is
the end of it.
As in, you can't say when it's going to.
The thing that baffles me most is that, just as he mentioned the case of Wadume, we are all witnesses to the fact that even when you read fiction, foreign fiction, there is always that thing that do not kill a law enforcement officer.
Honestly.
If a
as in-
group goes out to commit crime, and one of them kills a law enforcement officer, it is the member of the group that will kill that person. Because when you do that, you are going to make them
it more complicated.
Yes. So why is it that law enforcement officers have been killed, policemen, military men, and all that have been killed, and nothing is happening?
They have families.
They have families.
You
are serving their country.
Civilians
on the line of duty
are being killed, and something will happen.
They lied against them that
It is this kind of thing that makes things to
and they were even begging for their life.
continue. Exactly. It is this kind of thing that make the crime to continue to be
yes, because even the police will not want to give their best.
Thank you very much. The man will just say that if they kill me now, nothing will happen.
Yes.
And then
the Wadume matter makes it clear.
We keep talking about it
country, we do not want the truth.
So this boy's death must not be allowed to just go like that. This is very unfortunate.
Our people too, everyone must jump in and ensure that the right thing is done.
Yes, where are the civil society organizations?
Yes.
Where are the human rights community? What are they talking about this case? That we have a criminal that is meant to be prosecuted, and somehow the thing will just
and everybody will just keep quiet.
Keep
just
quiet.
Like that.
And we'll go to another thing.
Oh.
And we want progress. And if they compare Nigeria to Sena crimes, you will say you don't like it. So is that how it's done everywhere else?
Well, somebody will say next base, Jerry. Now, moving on, tragedy of monumental proportion occurred in Ojodu Berger axis of Lagos when a truck rammed into students, killing many of them. Angry youths in the area got hold of the truck and set it ablaze in anger. But police were on hand to arrest the driver, who is now in custody. Let's share the story reported by TVC News Ola Awakon.
Destructions on every truck along the road by angry mob. This is an indication that there is a devastating situation ahead. Sad faces, blood stains, and lamentations fill the scene.
Right at this spot behind me is Ojodu Grammar School bus stop, where a truck rammed into a good number of students who just closed from their secondary school very close by here. And the number of students that were killed by this truck has not been ascertained. The residents of this area lament the situation.
Last man, so to say. So I think they were trying to stop the truck driver. So escape, you know. So, and it was this rushing hour for the children, you understand? So that was how the truck ran into those children going home unaware, and it wasn't as if it wasn't as if the truck was facing them actually. They were going and the truck was behind them. So it's so pathetic, I know, so pathetic.
Oh, let our people be free.
After killing a good number of students at this particular spot, the truck kept running until it was stopped at around Ogba, Aguda, and set ablaze.
As soon as he knew that such a thing has happened, he tried to make his way out of the road. So some of the angry youths chased him and caught him at Aguda here. It was from this Aguda they got the car bomb, beat him up before the policemen could interfere and took him to the police station.
Residents of this area are yet to put a figure to the number of students who were killed by this truck behind me, which rammed into students who just closed from Ojodu Grammar School going home at about 2:30. And it is expected that this truck, which is being burnt down, and what has led to this devastation is being checked so that we don't have, a repetition of what has led to this devastation and this agony that has befallen many families of this area. Ola Awakon, TVC News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Commissioner Akim Odumosu confirmed the arrest of the truck driver, said the casualty figure could not yet be ascertained. Let's hear Akim Odumosu.
The trailer lost control, so it ran into some students. But with students now, normally with their normal reaction, they want to go to the station now to attack the station. But only because we arrested the driver. The driver was on the run. He was pursued, now we arrested the driver. So realizing that the driver now is the custody of the police in that area, they want to have jungle justice. But we have deployed enough to make sure that doesn't happen. So, but now the actual number of casualties and the actual number of the state of the injury, all these things now, is still sketchy.
Yes, Lagos State Police Commissioner there. Judy, we are familiar with this road and even this area. There's grammar school, police station. And during the NSAS time, it was set ablaze, and I think it's just been rebuilt there now. There's this Millennium School. That Millennium School is one of the signature projects of former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu. The number of schools that were put together to form these schools will tell you the number of students that are always in that school. Very big compound, very big school. So by now, I'm worried if they don't know the exact number of children affected. It's very poor and it could be devastating to parents.
Well, I think ultimately we'll have the exact number of the dead. When something like this happens, the first thing that people in government try to do is to not tell the truth. So try to reduce the casualty figure, you know. But it's not always the best thing to do. We've got to learn from this. We have got to learn from this experience. A situation in which security agencies whose duty it is to manage traffic start running after vehicles. Sometimes they put even revenue generation above traffic management. It has to stop. There's a need, for example, for reorientation, complete reorientation of LASMA staff and even training of his officers and men. Okay. That has to happen.
Okay, we quickly take this, brother. When we come back, we'll talk more. It's Journalist Hangout. Please stay with us. All right. This is Journalist Hangout, and we're still talking about the accident that happened yesterday in Ojodu local government, the local council development area. That's grammar school bus stop precisely. Before we went on that break.
Yes, I'm saying that we have to learn from this. Whether it is LASMA, I don't know who did it, and I don't expect them to even confess. It is our nature that when this sort of thing happens, nobody will want to say that I did it. You know, whether it is VIO, whether it is LASMA, whether it is road safety,
our police.
We are saying that we have to learn from this. None of them will be happy to lose a child who went to school.
No.
And we are talking about scores of dead students. Technology will ensure that by capturing even the number plate of a vehicle, we are able to bring that driver to justice.
That is the thing.
Not when you are chasing. Sometimes you even see them, they hang on the tailboard of a vehicle.
And this vehicle will be moving out.
Yes, they are hanging on the tailboard. You are hanging on the tailboard, you are running after it, you are even endangering your own life. Now, in the US and in the UK, they can chase your car, but that will be maybe you committed murder or something serious. You don't take, maybe you took some lives. They will chase you. Police vehicle will chase you, and they will radio
the
next
next
stop.
You cannot escape. I've seen
there's always-
videos.
It will not even happen where there is so much dense population. It is only on highway where they know they can.
They will not be chasing you in the crowded
narrow road
area like that.
this Ojodu Grammar School road.
So the point that we are making is, look, we can't have security agencies manning our roads, either as traffic managers who are tyrannical, uncontrollable, and even corrupt. You must put traffic management above revenue generation. Because when the driver sees that, oh, they are going to make me to pay through my nose, that's when they start running. No one is justifying what has happened.
Yeah.
But we can't have a situation. It's not the first time. There is a video. I wish I can get hold of that video. Even the FRSC officials who were chasing a vehicle, they too had an accident and died. You are chasing a vehicle. And we've seen a bus driver being chased because he wouldn't stop. He eventually had an accident and the passengers died. Is that the sort of thing that we should encourage?
Dr.
The answer is no.
Yes. Another angle to it is that the flip side of it is that anytime we have something like this in Lagos, the propensity for the breakdown of law and order among our youths, because that opportunity will be used, they will catch in on that opportunity and they will wreak havoc. If it's not for this intervention of security agencies yesterday, these guys would have gone on looting and burning spree. So to bring anything down at that moment will not matter to them.
The best thing to do is never to allow that to occur at all, because
this is today.
This is like
they destroyed the vehicle.
This is like the
students.
Roman mob. Who are you going to talk to? There is nobody you can talk to. The question I want to ask is this: when we were going to change number plates some years back, what was the excuse? They said that when the new number plate will be tied to a particular vehicle, when you offend, all they need is the number. And nobody needs to chase you. What has happened to that? We have been fleeced. Nothing has happened. Now, if I drive a car now and I knock someone down, God forbid, all they need to do is to get the number plate.
With the number, they will get all your details.
And they will get all the details. What has happened to that? Why do you need to chase a single soul to kill
from grammar school
children
down to
Ogba? Why do you need to chase anybody?
Look,
why do you need to chase anybody?
In Dubai, for example,
we behave as if
you cannot commit a crime against the traffic law. You don't need policemen around.
At all.
You know that they have cameras everywhere.
Effective one.
The radar will effectively get hold of you. So, and once you are arrested, you will lose your license. You will never be able to drive a car. So they too on their own will not do it. Just like the first time I went to the UK, a vehicle was ahead of us and it was not in a hurry. So I told the guy, I said, use your horn. He said, no, I will never try it. The man who drove me was a Somali man. He said, if I use my horn here, I will lose my license. And it took me years to get this license to go to work here.
It's not that horn that they will use it to sing in the bus stop.
We'll be singing songs with the horn here in our country.
So, I mean,
you can't use your horn anyhow.
Oh, man.
And it's not as if somebody is there physically to monitor you. No. You know that you cannot escape. You know. It's the same thing in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Yeah, you cannot. Everywhere.
You cannot. If the light stops you, you will see them. Even if there is no traffic ahead, they will never. They will never move. They will stay there. There is no traffic ahead, though.
It's just that
in Lagos, if there is no traffic and you are stopped, they just move.
They move.
Look, these things exist, though. It's just that in Lagos State or in Nigeria, we don't follow this thing to the letter. Your vehicle license. Let me tell you. If you sell your car today, you cannot exchange that plate number.
That is
with another
that
person.
is what they said.
No, that's what is on record. That's what I can tell you now.
It happened.
If you give another person, the person cannot go and re-register that car because your name will be the one there.
Yes.
You know, I do this a lot. So this Ojodu VIO station and everything.
That is the law. But is it effective? Do they?
Yes, they don't have to, they don't follow it.
That was the reason why the number plates were changed. That the 3 letters come first and all that, and everyone was forced, whether your car was due or not, to change it. So what has happened?
Technology
has made it easy,
to ensure that we do not jump on the tailboard of vehicles.
And people will not go haywire and
start chasing vehicles.
Police officer,
is that how they do in other places? Some they will be dragging the steering with the person. What kind of training is that?
I'm telling you, I don't know.
Madness.
Somebody
is driving, you are dragging the steering.
And somebody will be behind. An official will be behind. They will be recording.
Yes.
And you are. I don't know the kind of training that will tell you to.
That is the point that I was making. That look, there is a need for reorientation, training. You don't. They have to change their. Look at what they have caused now. None of them will admit that. FRS said they didn't do it.
No.
Last part too, they will say they didn't do it. So who did it?
Maybe
Babajide told you that did it. You know. So this is the thing.
I have Shola Junior from Ibadan. Thank you for joining us, Shola.
Julius from Ibadan. Babajide, good evening, sir. And
hello, Shola.
The other man. Hello. I'm hearing you. Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Please go ahead, Shola.
All right, thank you. I'm calling from Ibadan. Babajide, good evening, sir. And the other man, Ojegbile, good evening, sir. Now, I will appreciate it if justice is being done.
Shola, go ahead. Matter. Yes, go ahead.
On this matter. Now, if our government will be able to come out and make these people as example to others, especially on the issue of these children, the one in Dowen College, the one that happened yesterday in that school, the children that were crushed down by the truck. Honestly, it's very pathetic because the parents have been thrown into a very mood now. And at the end of the year, we pray that all of us will be protected by the Almighty God. But what's very important is we need to get it right and do the needful. So government of Lagos State, government of that local government, and everywhere to please rise up and make sure that justice is being given, so that at least it will cushion the pains in the life of the parents. I think we should set up an agenda whereby this can never happen again. Thank you, Babajide. Please improve on these issues on Saturday so that I'll be hearing you clearly. God bless you. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Shola. Thank you, Shola, for your feedback. And Shola is also telling Babajide to do something about the issues on Saturday so that they can follow him more. I think Shola was just trying to say that, look, it's an unfortunate time for these things to happen, and people should be brought to justice, and people should be held responsible for this kind of. Now, if the Commissioner of Police, if they're telling us that the driver has been apprehended, thank God that the jungle justice people did not catch up with the driver, unless I'm telling you, it would have been set up with pronto. You know?
Yes. Yes.
As in, that's
the attackers were students too. Yeah. And today, they were still attacking trucks. They were attacking trucks at Berger today. The video that we saw, that blue truck, the windshield was smashed. And you see they were wearing their uniform. You can see them, they are wearing their uniform. They are students. They are still
secondary school students.
Yes, they were the ones who attacked this truck yesterday. The person who filmed it was standing on top of that pedestrian bridge. And he filmed it. So the students were still angry about what happened yesterday, and they were attacking those trucks.
Yeah, but didn't they too young to be carrying out arson? These students, secondary school students, these are not university.
We are talking about students, some of them belonging to cult groups. You are saying they are too young.
Look at what they are doing to that country.
Students that are in cult groups already. This one is surprising to you. Look at them now.
Ika, this is
you know what? We are breeding an angry generation.
That's the word.
And the the best thing to do is to begin to behave correctly.
They don't even have regard for anybody. You see today's children, no respect.
No respect.
Even meet them online. That's the worst. Children of anger.
People, and the parents too, are irresponsible. They are not training children the proper way anymore. You see children, they have no regard for you.
You meet people online.
Even where we work, you see, you are trying to enter a room. You see maybe somebody who came for IT. A girl of like 16 years.
Yeah,
it will hit you, hit your chest and go inside. Instead of waiting for the elderly person to pass. No training. No training at all. That's why what happened in Dowen is not a surprise to me. All of these parents who have refused to train their children the proper way, and when teachers even help them to do what they have refused to do, they will go and bring police to be harassing teachers. Stupid people. Why are you harassing teachers?
When I was told that somebody insulted Jide online one day, and that person came for reconciliation, the first thing that struck me when I came, I saw that person. I was like, I couldn't just stand it. Look at social media. What is that? This one, I just walked away.
Well, that's why an Italian Nobel laureate once said that the social media has made life easy. What an idiot will say in a beer parlor, that they will shut him down. He will come to the social media and say it.
No, people who ordinarily cannot lace your boots, are not qualified to lace your boots. They come on social media to abuse you. Sometimes out of pure envy, jealousy, and that all their years they've not been able to rise to the level that you have risen to. So they just see, let us abuse him. One thing is, insulting. Once you are successful in life, you have earned the right, in inverted commas, to be hated.
And people will hate you.
Yes. The right to be hated, you have earned it. By being successful, you expect to be hated. That's the thing.
And finally on the show, it appears terror has been let loose across Nigeria owing to some carnage, but some have been avoided. In Sokoto State, a bandit intercepted a bus full of travelers from Sabon Benin local government area of Sokoto State and set it on fire, burning scores of passengers on board to death. The number of those burnt in the bus is still a subject of debate, but could be around 30 to 40 people. This is where we have found ourselves. These guys are animals in human skin. Because I wonder why, you want to kidnap, you want to collect ransom. Which one is burning a bus and with human being?
No, they are not. They are doing it to show their anger about the bombing of their people by the Nigerian Air Force. This thing has been blamed on Turji. Turji is a bandit who is still under 30 years of age, but he is in control of that area, and some of his people were killed when the Air Force launched an attack on that area. His relations, even his brother's wife and all that. So they've been very angry. Now they launch attack on that road, Kauranamonda Shinkafi Road.
Okay.
They launch attacks sometimes 3 times a day. They are making life unbearable for our people, simply killing our people in anger about that air raid. Because the air raid took the lives of some of their relatives. So they just felt, okay, you killed us, now we will be killing people on the highway, because it wasn't the first time that they will attack that highway and just kill people. But this one, in broad daylight, to set bus passengers ablaze, there's no better way, no better word that one can use to describe these people than just calling them beasts. Animals.
The level of cruelty.
Even animals have some level of decency. and care. And animals, you see, some animals will show extreme loyalty. I saw a video where a woman pretended like he had died. Come and see his pets, including even a donkey, you know, showing concern. So some animals will even behave better than these people.
Human beings.
These beasts. How do you set bus passengers ablaze? It's not like you kill them, you set them ablaze while alive.
That's a very gruesome way.
Gruesome, what is their crime? What is their crime? Just people trying to move from Zamfara to Sokoto State. Sabon is in Sokoto State.
Yeah.
They are moving. That Kaurana Moda, Shinkafi Road, then Gusau, Sabon Road. They stayed there just killing our people. And I hear now that they are even making efforts to beg Truji and his people. They've sent emissary to him so that the constant...
To beg the terrorists.
Yes. So that the attacks can stop. Because our people have waited and waited for government to be able to protect them in these situations. And once they cannot guarantee that, they will have to reach out to
get protection
to these terrorists.
So that if to assuage him, if it's to pay them money, if to pay what do you call it?
Ransom or whatever.
The revenue thing they used to collect from them. Because I was told that to harvest now, you have to pay bandits.
You have to pay. You know,
to go to your farm, you pay bandits.
It's a very sad and unfortunate thing. And
you said the Air Force killed his aunt and her husband and several other foot soldiers.
So
that's
Tuji's aunt and the husband.
It is
striking back, and we can profile this Tuji and go after him.
Now they're saying that the so-called leaders were unable to kill the leaders. Well, we killed the small fries, but the leaders, we've not been able to kill them.
That is always the case. You know, it's very unfortunate that it is tragedy that we are talking about. And I believe that the government has allowed this thing to fester for too long. And that is why it is happening this way. I mean, why should people move from, you cannot move from one part of the country to another again, set people ablaze, and this is in the daylight, not even in the night. I mean, so what exactly are we saying? What is the impression that we are giving the world? That, I mean, when we say the country is at war, there's nothing worse than this that you can say. The country is at war. And everyone is sitting pretty there, thinking, no, it's just some bandits here and there doing that. No. Something grave, something drastic has to be done. We cannot continue this way. Why is it that government cannot come down harshly on these people? So, because they kill some of their own people now, they will now continue to kill innocent people? No, this should not be allowed.
And this incident happened around 9 a.m. 9 a.m.
broad daylight.
So those trying to escape, they fired at them. The height of wickedness. Those who are trying to escape from this
there's
scene,
nobody to come to their rescue.
You know? They said they first fired at the tire of the vehicle. Sometimes these guys could be on the road operating for hours.
And nobody, no security agent will come to intercept.
It's terrible. And it's still the same 2G boy. I've talked about 2G a number of times, and I've said that
30 years.
We've not killed their leaders. If you hear that a bandit leader died, he must have died in the hands of a fellow bandit leader.
A rival.
Even Buhari Daji, that was how he died.
Yes.
It was Dogo Gide that went to kill him because he stole cattle belonging to Dogo Gide's in-laws. in-laws. So he was angry. He said he should return. He said, no, I've sold it. So he brought his people to waste him. We need to kill their leaders.
You know, there's a story written by an American journalist who went to Zamfara to visit some bandits. You know what the bandit leader, Alhaji Auta, that's what he calls him, although he said some of the names have been changed to... What the man told this journalist was that they know where they are, but when they come, they don't bomb their camp. They bomb the periphery. So most of their people don't get hit. And this guy, they met him in Zamfara and drove with him in SUV to a particular point. From that particular point, they rode on motorcycle to get to the leader of and the guy was telling them confidently that these people know where we are, and that when they want to bomb, they know where they bomb, and that they know when they are going to bomb them. So that means
the essence of the campaign.
That means there is something going on. There's something going on. I mean,
we are not getting the kind of results that we should get. If the military campaign had been very effective, they won't be able to do some of the nonsense. They are still picking up people, up to 60 people at once you kidnap in Kaduna.
How can that's a whole lot of people?
Okay, I have Abimbola from Ikorodu, Lagos State.
Hello?
Thank you for joining us, Bimbo.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Abimbola.
Please, we are tired of all this what is going on in our country. Please, we are begging all the people that is in the authority to stop this of our children. It's getting too much. It was one boy, yesterday was another cause of people killed. We are tired of using our children's blood. This is the year coming to our head. Hearing our children dying for those doctors. Please, we are begging. I'm a mother, and I feel that no parents stay.
Thank you, Abimbola. Yes, Abimbola is just...
some of the victims of this attack, bandits were infants.
Yeah.
He said there were infants among the dead. So people have lost their humanity completely. They won't even say this is a little kid. They will just waste everybody. You know?
The cost of life in Nigeria.
No, life is so cheap and brutish in our country. There is nowhere in the world, and I've challenged people on this program to tell me anywhere in the world where it is so cheap to die as it is in Nigeria.
Not even in Afghanistan.
Not in Afghanistan.
Somalia.
No. People are not dying in Afghanistan the way we are dying here. People are not dying in Syria the way we are dying in Nigeria. I mean, how come death has become so cheap here? How can you burn bus passengers to send them a place in broad daylight
and nothing happened?
9 a.m.
And if you take an inventory that same day, several other things would have happened.
Of course.
I said they launch attacks sometimes 3 times on the same highway. 3 times in a day. You know? So whatever it is, we have to double up our efforts, because our efforts are not yielding enough dividends. The military campaign is not yielding enough dividends. If it was yielding enough dividends, they won't be able to do some of the things that
it should have stemmed.
They are still operating everywhere. Operating in Kaduna, operating in Birnin-Gwari. They are still operating everywhere. And they say Sokoto East now, the senatorial zone. 2G has literally occupied Sokoto East. He is even appointing leaders for villages and all that. They now have village heads. Yes.
Under 30 guy.
Yes, he's appointing them. You must pay levy to those people. Otherwise, you die.
sometimes thank you for coming. Sometimes it's very, very discouraging when you hear things like this.
Honestly,
and for us that will come here, sometimes
no, it's painful. People don't get
absorb the information like you are absorbing it at home. There is just very, very.
It's painful. They think some people think we are happy to talk about these things. It's just like when I talk about the war, Boko Haram war. I've lost friends among the soldiers. So it's not something that makes me happy talking about it. If we want improvement and we're asking for improvement, it's because we know that it will benefit us too. You know? We have friends in Sokoto, we have friends in Katsina.
Everywhere. All right.
I mean, you can't even travel there now.
You can't travel.
Dr.
You can't see your friends.
Thank you. Babajide Kolade Soju, thank you. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. And don't forget to join us on Journalist Hangout Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. Well, youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow, and God bless Nigeria.